Well, since this game is actually cheaper right now than its sequel and it's no less good, let's discuss this one as well. And in this video, we're going to be reviewing Forza Horizon 4 and whether it is worth it to get it right now, even after its sequel's release, or whether you just go with the sequel right away. By the way, if you're interested in the review of Forza Horizon 5, I have it on the channel, so you can go and check it out if you want. And as for Forza Horizon 4, or FH4 for short, I'm going to be giving you the answer right away, whether it is worth it to buy right now or not. And the answer is yes, absolutely. Forza Horizon 4 is an amazing Forza game, and if you have never played Forza Horizon games or played the old ones, then it's absolutely a must buy. However, if you have a Forza Horizon 5, yeah, it's a bit more difficult to recommend. So now let's go into the details. So for the ones who doesn't know what Forza Horizon 4 is, Forza Horizon 4 is, or rather all of the Forza Horizon games, is an open world racing game. It's difficult to call it neither arcade game nor the simulator because it's really somewhere in between. It more goes towards an arcade-ish racing, making it pretty simple for, well, majority of people to get into, and it's going to the simulator part where it is making it pretty difficult for majority of the people to master it. This time in this game, you are playing in the part of the northern England with its separate climate, and your goal is basically play and race in these territories. You have a huge open world game where you can go and play a different, well, car-based missions or events. It can be a dirt racing, it can be a drag racing, drift racing, or etc, etc, everything that is car related. If you have played any of the Forza games, again, if you have seen it, it's exactly the same game. You have a huge selection of the cars from the different eras, which according to their performances can be divided into different classes, from D class to an S2 class. Then the higher the class are, the faster usually and the more powerful cars are. And usually when you go into the races, you're going to race against the same class cars. And that basically means the game is literally unlocked for you from the very beginning. And yeah, there is no progression to the better cars, there's progression to the more cars, and you are basically collecting more and more cars to have a choice when you go to the different races. All the cars has also the tuning system that allows you to fine-tune every aspect of your car, starting from the tire pressure to the transmission levels, giving you a very fine-tuned control and just giving this game a very simulator flavor. Again, the same as every other Forza Horizon game. But mostly people will be interested in what's the difference between this and Forza Horizon 5 and which one is actually better. Let's get into the differences. First is, of course, the game world. Forza Horizon 5 is happening in Mexico, which is the mix of a jungle and a desert environment, and this game is happening in northern England, which has more temperate climate, or rather more European climate. The environment variety is not as large as it is in the Forza Horizon 5, but it has a very important distinction. Seasons. Seasons made a debut in FH4 and continued with FH5, but here the seasons are a bit more distinct. You have regular 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, and winter, and they have, well, a bit more distinct flair to each other. Especially the winter, where everything is covered with the snow. In FH5, you have the seasons as well, but seasons there are a bit different. It's like stormy season, wet season, dry season, and I think there is one more that I don't remember exactly. But in the FH5, it's a bit less drastic. Here, it's far more drastic here, especially if you like wintry environments, like I do, because yeah, I love driving in snow in the real world as well. And to be fair, that's the biggest difference between those two games. The graphics wise, they're actually pretty close, even though FH5 looks, well, better, but FH4 looks pretty great as well. And overall, this is the biggest differences between those two games. One is happening in one spot, and other happening in another spot. Don't get me wrong, there are a bunch of smaller differences, like very small, and a lot of them. But overall, the main gameplay is the same. There's Horizon Festival happening, you go to the festival sites, you go and gain a reputation, go gain your levels, race around, gain the money to gain better cars, and for the seasonal events, you go for the specific races or specific events and gain the rewards. It's exactly the same as it's exactly the same for FH4 and FH5. And there is, to be fair, not much to talk about. It's the car game. You drive a car, you race around, and you have an open world, and you just do the quests kind of like in any RPG, but with the cars, and your main missions is basically, well, win the races and be the first. But if these two games are this similar, how much does this one cost? So game is available on Steam for the base price of $59.99 for tier 1 countries and $27.99 for tier 2 countries, and it can go as low as $19.79 for tier 1 countries and $9.23 for tier 2 countries. Plus, the game is also available on a Game Pass for both PC and an Xbox. So as you can see, the price-wise, game is actually almost half the price as FH5. So is it actually worth it? Well, yes. Absolutely. If you have, again, if you have never played Forza Horizon games, or rather if you have not played the Forza Horizon 5, then yes, it's absolutely freaking worth it. It is the best value that you can get for the money for this type of games. The only people who I would not recommend to get to this game is people who already own Forza Horizon 5 and play Forza Horizon 5. Because yes, you will see differences a bit more when you get into an older game, a bit more. It looks a bit worse, it is a bit more clunky, and the environment is a bit more bland if you're gonna go from FH5 to FH4. FH5 is objectively better game. Not much better, but the better game. But it's also much more expensive right now. So for the price and the value wise that you're getting, FH4 is actually a better value. Plus from an FH4, you're literally getting almost 90% of what you are getting from FH5. So yeah, Forza Horizon 4 is absolutely worth it. Again, unless you own a Forza Horizon 5. So yeah, overall, my overall verdict is this. FH4 is an amazing game that you should get just because of the price to value ratio. And especially if you love more temperate environments, you're gonna enjoy it a lot. So yep, my full recommendation here for this game. And for the Game Pass owners, you can get them both. It really, there is no question there. So yeah, they're both great for if you have a Game Pass. So yep, my full recommendation for this game. This will be it for today. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. So yeah, I feel like I'm saying this faster.